Hello everybody. It is March 28th, 2023. Time for the Tuesday Instagram Live. So let's kick this off. This topic or question came from a question from a member of the Linchpin community. I think it's one that everybody will benefit from. It's about getting better at pull-ups. How would you modify or scale a workout if you don't have enough to really replicate the stimulus? So hopefully everybody enjoys it, and I think some of the stuff that I'm going to chat about has overlay outside pull-ups as well. Let me read the question first. The question is from Kenneth A, coming from beautiful Norway. Kenneth says, "Hi, I'm a 40-year-old CrossFit newbie. I've been following Linchpin for a while. I live in a small apartment in Oslo, Norway. Don't have access to a garage. Therefore, I work out in a Globo gym. Love the private track, so thanks for creating that. I have two questions, and I apologize if this has been answered in the podcast already. I'm making my way through them from the beginning, loving the content." It's going to take a bit. There's 350 episodes of Linchpin Conversations, so it's going to take a bit to get through it. But if you actually do, you will be a CrossFit genius that you'll be able to answer other people's questions, so keep making your way through the podcast. So here it goes. Number one, I don't have kipping pull-ups or kipping anything really, and the Globo gym isn't set up for it. I do have strict pull-ups, but only 5 or 6. So for example, if the workout is a 21-15-9 workout, I will probably have to quit my job to get the strict pull-ups done in a reasonable amount of time. Would I be doing the workout a disservice if I scaled the pull-ups down to 5 reps in this scenario? And number two, any tips or resources to learn techniques, different movements, kipping, gymnastics, things like that? Kenneth, we got you covered. So first of all, congratulations on having 5 or 6 strict pull-ups. That's fantastic, and that's a great base from which you can launch forward. So let me dive into your first question here, which is, if it's a 21-15-9 workout, which a classic 21-15-9 CrossFit workout that involves pull-ups would of course be Fran. So let's just use Fran because it's well known and it's a useful example, and it's also a workout that is relatively short in its intention. And so like Kenneth said, if I tried to do that many pull-ups, the workout would take me all day. So it's a great example. Yeah, you could do the pull-ups in Fran strict, but based upon Kenneth's current capacity, Fran would be a 2-hour workout, which, yep, it's great. You weren't sitting on the couch, but you kind of missed the boat on what we're trying to accomplish on that day. So how would we do that? So his first question, number one, don't have kipping. Would I do the workout a disservice in a 21-15-9 scenario if I modify the pull-ups to like 5? So yeah, so if you made Fran 21 thrusters, 5 pull-ups, 15 thrusters, 5 pull-ups, but it probably won't be 5 by then because you'll be tired, so if you're lucky it'll be 4. 9 thrusters, 3 pull-ups. Again, you're not sitting on the couch, so that's fantastic, and you're doing yourself something great, but I think there's a better way that we can make that happen for you. So here we go. And I'll discuss later how to get some of the technique here. So if done in a Globo gym, if we think about 21, 15, and 9, what that comes out to is 45 reps. So in the classic Fran, you're going to do 45 thrusters and 45 pull-ups. And again, this is just an example. You could overlay this knowledge to whatever workout that you want. So if we think that Kenneth has a set of 5 or 6 strict pull-ups fresh and does not know how to kip, how could we make Fran work for him and replicate the stimulus as best as possible? So what if we did this? We said, oh, you know what? The heck with the 21-15-9 rep scheme. Kenneth, what you're going to do 5 rounds for time of 9 thrusters and 3 strict pull-ups. And I said 3 instead of 5 or 6 because I'm thinking the fatigue's going to set in. So that's your Fran today. 5 rounds for time, 9 thrusters, 3 strict pull-ups. So 5 times 9, 45. So you're still going to get in the exact same number of thrusters, and by the end of it you're going to get in 5 sets of 3 strict pull-ups. You'll get in 15 strict pull-ups. Now that's fantastic, and that's great, and that will certainly do the trick really nicely, because if you wanted to, after you did that workout, You could do some extra pull-up accessory work if you so desired to increase your overall strict pull-up capacity, work on your technique a little bit to start getting that there. You could certainly do that. But I could make a heck of an argument that if you currently only have 5 or 6 strict pull-ups, period, and you did the workout that I just said, 5 rounds for time, 9 thrusters, 3 strict pull-ups, that you don't need to do any extra work that day because you did 15 strict pull-ups in that workout. If your max effort set is 5 and you did 15, you did 300%. You did 3 times what your best ever set is. That's a lot of work. I mean, to put that in perspective to somebody who's maybe more advanced in a pull-up capacity workout, if you have a set of 20 strict dead hang pull-ups, it's really good, right? That's a great set of strict pull-ups, really impressive. And a workout has 3 times your 1 rep max, has 60 strict pull-ups in the workout. I don't think that person feels the need to do extra pull-ups after that because they did 3 times what their best 1 rep max set is. That's a lot of work. So relative to Kenneth, if he did that workout that involved 15 strict pull-ups, take a shower, go home for the day. You're feeling great, okay? So keep that in mind. But let's think of some other ways that we could modify this, because there's a whole bunch of different ways to scale and modify to get the point across and accomplish the mission. There's not just one. So one of these might just really ring true for you. Another thing which would be fantastic, have a band ready. Bands are your friend. Bands are a great way to improve strength, to improve capacity, etc., etc. But the key thing is to have the appropriate band ready. There's the tough part. Not the band that's so thick and heavy that you could pull a truck out of a ditch with. That's not the band that you want. You want to look at the band that you think, yeah, I think that's the appropriate band for me. And then don't choose that band. Choose one that's just a little weaker. And you're like, oh, that band's going to be tough. Yes, that's the right band. That's the one you want. So choose that band that's going to make you work, okay? You're still going to be doing a whole bunch of work, and you're not going to suddenly put the magic band on and blast through all the rounds unbroken. That's not what we're going for. That's not going to help you. So you choose the appropriate band, and now Kenneth could do a Fran. 21-15-9. Let's keep the rep scheme just like that. 21-15-9, thrusters and pull-ups. But here's the deal. Based upon what Kenneth told me, you're not going to just slide into the band on rep number 1. You do your set of 21 thrusters, you drop the bar, you hate life, you hate thrusters, you ask yourself, why do I do CrossFit? I should just take up something else. You make your way over to the pull-up bar to start the set of 21 thrusters. You've got 5 or 6 strict pull-ups, right? At least that's what you used to have fresh. Now you're hyperventilating from the thruster bar. Hop up on that bar, do as many strict pull-ups as you can. And I say strict because Kenneth doesn't know how to kip yet. Do as many strict pull-ups as you can. When you hit that failure point, then and only then, you slide your foot into that band. That's a weaker band than you want. And let's say Kenneth got, for easy numbers, he did get 5 strict pull-ups. So he has what? 16 pull-ups left. If you have chosen a band that you put your foot in and you now get 16 unbroken pull-ups with the band, you chose the wrong band. I would want to see that set of 16 probably get broken up into a 6-5-5, basically into 3 more chunks because you're working so darn hard and the band isn't just rocketing you into orbit. That's not what we're looking for. So you accomplish your 21 pull-ups still in a good amount of time, right? Because the band did give you assistance. You know, maybe between each one of those sets of, 5, 6, or whatever you got on the pull-up bar, you had to shake it out for 15, 20 seconds, 25 seconds, then you hopped up, did another set of 5. That's a nice pace. You did your set of 15 thrusters, which anyone who does Fran knows that's the worst set. Break those up if you have to, and then once again, you get to the pull-up bar. See if you have any stricties. See if any strict pull-ups came back for you. You probably won't get 5 again. It'd be impressive if you get 4. Maybe you get 2 or 3. That's cool. Good. Get your 2 or 3 strict pull-ups. Slide your foot into that band. And if you got 3 out of the set of 15, you've got 12 left. I would want to see, you get to that 12 as a 4-4-4 or 3-3-3-3. That's great. that's a good band that you've chosen, because you're getting pull-ups, you're working the full range of motion, but you are busting your tail to make it happen, and the band is giving you just enough assistance to keep you on pace. That's fantastic. And you play that same game with the 9. Get the stricties that you can, and then slide your foot into the band. So with the right band, awesome. 2159 can work just fine for you. You'll get in strict work, you'll get in assisted work, you'll get fit, your strict pull-ups will improve, your upper body pulling will improve. It'll be fantastic, and you won't be there, you won't have to quit your day job to get all the pull-ups done. You could play this in another way. Again, there's so many different ways that you can scale and modify if you understand what we have going on here. What if you did a similar situation to like I mentioned the first time? The first time we said 5 rounds of 9 thrusters and 3 strict pull-ups. Do 5 rounds of 9 thrusters, 9 pull-ups. Okay? So the first example I gave you, there was no band assist, right? We just had Kenneth doing 5 rounds of 9 thrusters and 3 strict pull-ups. Now, we could say 5 rounds of 9 and 9. So he's going to get the full Fran volume of 45 total thrusters and 45 total pull-ups, but instead of having to do those big, huge sets, the 21, the 15, every set's a 9, 5 sets of 9. So you're probably moving at a nice pace through the thrusters, and then when you get to the pull-up bar, it's not so darn overwhelming. It's not like you're climbing Mount Everest, and you have your trusty band there, and you play that same game that we played on the 2159, but now you're just playing it with 5 sets of 9. You get as many strict as you can, you slide into the band, you make your way to 9. You advance to the next round, and you do 9 and 9 again, and that could be great. So that's how you could accomplish that, given the situation that Kenneth described, given the gear that he has available, and life would be great. Now, if you don't have access to a band, then we could just do some upper body pulling in a different direction. And again, with the same concepts that I said a second ago about, you could do it as a 2159, you could do it as 5 sets of 9 and 9, you could do it as 9 rounds of 5 and 5. There's a whole bunch of different ways that we could get there. But if you didn't have a pull-up bar and you didn't have a band, let's say you had a pull-up bar, but you don't have a band. Do your thrusters, do your pull-ups, whatever rep scheme you chose, and then when you reach that failure point on the pull-up, okay, you don't have a band, hop off, you've got a trusty set of dumbbells standing by or a second barbell, and you're going to do a bent over row. And I know you're not pulling in exactly the same direction, but trust me when I tell you this, bent over rows will help your upper body pull-up capacity. They are a wonderful proxy for that movement. And I would play that same game where, let's say that you're in that set of 21, you get 5 strict pull-ups, you hop off, you grab a set of dumbbells or you grab a barbell. If you chose a weight on that barbell or in that pair of dumbbells that you then blasted through that set of bent over rows unbroken to be a hero on it and then moved on to the thrusters, you chose too light of a loading. I would want that loading on the barbell or that loading on the dumbbells to be as taxing as what I described with that band, that you're breaking it up into a few sets because you have to work for it. You get a little work rest built in there. You would be absolutely good to go. So that's a great way to do it. And you could also do that in your apartment. You live in an apartment, you said. If you just have a trusty pair of dumbbells, you don't even have to drop the weights and you're totally good to go. You just do 2159 dumbbell thrusters and bent over rows, and that's your Fran with no pull-up bar. 2159 thruster, bent over row. Life's going to be fantastic. You won't be shortchanged. It'll be great. So, hopefully that helps give you some ideas as different ways to modify a workout. This one was specifically about pull-ups, but you could play this same game with darn near any workout, darn near any movement pattern, any loading. Once you start to understand the big general concepts, then just apply it as needed. Getting back to Kenneth's second question and his final question, if you will, any tips, resources, or guides to help me on proper technique and advance in these movements? Yes, absolutely. This is going to be a bit of a shameless plug, but it's a shameless plug because it's the truth and they work really, really well, and it's exactly why they were created. The other program that I do, the podcast, Varied Not Random, with Bosman. Varied not random, VNR. VNR, we've got cycles that are really great and beneficial, and people love them. They've used them a lot with success, and I would recommend them as well. And we've got cycles for a body weight on-ramp course. If you want to get somebody just to introduce them to fitness, it's a great way to do it. A dumbbell on-ramp course. You want to learn a whole bunch of movements with dumbbells. There's a barbell one that we've filmed everything for and is being built. So eventually there'll be a barbell on-ramp course that'll be available as well. But specifically related to this, there's a program for get your first strict pull-up. It's a 10-week program. Now Kenneth already has he's got a strict pull-up, so that might not apply to him. But there's also one entitled Your First Kipping Pull-Up. So great, you've already got strict pull-ups, but now you want to learn the technique, for example. First kipping pull-up, 20-session program. Prerequisite is 5 strict pull-ups, and then all of a sudden you're good to go, and through those 20 sessions you will learn how to get your kipping pull-up, and you can repeat. Once you get that first kipping pull-up program, for example, you can go through it, and if you need to go through it again, once you get it, you own it. Go through it as many times as you need to. Oh, I see. RC Clarity 51 just signed back up for the Linchpin private track last night. Completed today's limited equipment workout. Thanks for the programming. You're very welcome, and welcome back. But again, the VNR cycles, there's, first strict pull-up, first kipping pull-up. There's a first kipping bar muscle-up. That one's wildly popular, by the way. First strict ring muscle-up. First push-up. First strict ring dip. First strict handstand push-up. Want to learn how to handstand walk? Get your first 5-foot handstand walk. Toes to bar. There's a program for the clean, the jerk, the snatch, back squat, deadlift, shoulder press, bench press. There's some really, really great stuff on there. So again, a bit of a shameless plug, but they're really good and they serve the purpose really well. You can do them on your own pace. So you can find those if you go to the BTWB YouTube channel, and every Tuesday there's a new video, podcast that Adrian and I did. New Varied Not Random podcast is posted on the BTWB YouTube channel. If you go into the show notes for any one of those Varied Not Random YouTube videos, in the show notes there's a link to go to all the VNR cycles and check those out. But I can tell you the website, if it'll stick in your head, it's programs.btwb.com/VNR. programs.btwb.com/VNR, and then you can peruse and browse all of those things. So I think those would serve you really, really well. And once you get them, you can just upload them to your workout calendar in BTWB, do as many sessions as you want a week. There's written content, there's videos to help you, there's an ebook included, there's a lot of really great stuff. So for Kenneth, I think that would be a great way, especially since you already have 5 or 6 strict pull-ups, but you need some sort of a self-guided course to learn that technique for the kipping pull-up. I think that would treat you really well. So that is that. Appreciate the question. Hopefully it helped people, and have a great day. We'll talk later.